Yup. We back. What's happening? What's happening? What's going on? We are back. We are back. I did not plan on being back. But this guy, brother Polight, I did not plan on making another video about this individual, but I see he is up to his old ways. He didn't learn his lesson, and he's trying to slick talk to people. Uh, so I'm here. I appreciate everybody. I hope everybody had a good day. We'll get right into it. I don't know how long, probably won't be long. But I'm just doing a PSA. This is a PSA, public service announcement. Do not believe what you hear from this man. Um, sure, believe what you hear, take it for what it is, but I need everybody to understand he is telling half truths. This is what he does. I know a lot of people may not be familiar with his tactics. I'm very familiar with his tactics. The community that is familiar with him is familiar with his tactics. So I want you to understand what he's doing. I'm going to attempt to play the video for all those who haven't seen it. I'm doing a PSA. I'm doing a PSA because I know there's people out there that may buy into this. There are people out there that are already buying into this. How's my sound? Is my sound okay? Um, there are people out here that are already buying into what he's saying. And we want to put an immediate stop to that because what's going to happen is he's going to come home and he's going to scam people again. He's going to scam people while he's in prison because he still has a team out here on the streets. The team consists of his wife and other people, or however many wives he has. So we're going to get the truth out there, and I want y'all to know that yes, he's going to tell you some things that are true, and he's going to omit a lot of the truth. Let's get into it. Let me know if you can't hear it, and I'll see what I can do. I'm doing it like this for now until I get my interface hooked up. So we're gonna get right into it. Blessings in abundance. The mother and the daughter and the prosecution dropped every single sexual charge. Now let's stop right there. They stopped he's celebrating. This idiot is celebrating. I'm gonna try not to be graphic. They limited my monetization for my last video. I'm gonna try not to be graphic. Let's stop right there though. This man is at his Miami hotel room, doing what he does as usual. And he is celebrating that they dropped all the sexual charges. Mind you, he just got sent to prison yesterday for 7 years for 2 counts of aggravated child abuse. But he's sitting here celebrating the fact that they took off the sexual charges. What is there to celebrate? Say it again. The mother, the daughter, my accusers, in addition to the state, the prosecution, all agreed they need to drop all of the sexual charges. It's real hard to look at this nigga, man. It's very hard to listen to this man. I want you to notice how he says, what's up, Triple C's? I want you to notice how he says, proudly, he says, they all agreed as if they agreed because of some type of innocence on his behalf. Now you may say, how can this be possible if a minor was so-called molested and it was DNA evidence? And people say DNA don't lie.
And I always said, people do. Well, let's do this. The serologist, the expert that so-called found 6 semen stains amongst a headscarf and a t-shirt. Never mind the fact the whole rape kit said negative. They checked this girl for 5 different types of DNA, finger DNA, all types of different.
Let's stop right there. Now he talks about this rape kit. To my knowledge and to my recollection, nobody said that he penetrated her vaginally. Nobody said that. I don't want to get graphic. But I'm going to say this. He's celebrating and he's boasting about the rape kit, the violation kit. But the thing is, nobody said he did that. Okay? There was a situation where other things were done. Okay? That's what he's going to prison for. So you see the games that he's playing, he's very manipulative. If I didn't know better, I would believe it.
Checked her vagina, checked her mouth, checked her saliva, checked her excrement, checked her feces, checked her urine. Everything came up negative. You would think because of all the violent
triple C's, you said it's old? You say you think it's an old video?
Acts I was accused of. How I came inside of her. How I came on her face. How I bust her mouth open from penetrating her so physically. That there would be some kind of trace of something. Some kind of DNA. But the rape kit came up all negative. So now we're in a conundrum. So how the hell how does the DNA just skip to a t-shirt and a headscarf? Well, the serologist that did the report and labeled it semen stains, when you got high-powered attorneys such as myself, then what happens is when you spend damn near 200 grand on your defense, you have the right to do depositions. We have our own private investigator.
He says he spent $200,000 on the case. He has such high-powered lawyers. But yet and still, they just shipped his ass to prison for 7 years. So let me get this straight. You got high-powered lawyers. You spent 200 grand on the case. And you're claiming you're innocent. And you still got 7 years. And you're bragging about it as if your lawyer's so high-powered. That's not a high-powered lawyer, though. So let's keep it real. And I'm talking to the people that may buy into this. Dude is very good. He's very slick, right? Got you. Triple C's, I appreciate you. $200,000 on a lawyer, and you still get 7 years if you're innocent. That $200,000 bought him 7 years. That 200. See, the thing is, he was facing 61 years, right? He was facing life. Each crime, the original crimes, carry 20 to life. So he's trying to. What he wants you to do is he's going to use all kind of language. He's going to use all kind of words and emotions and body language to make you think that all this was going on, all this money was spent, the lawyer was so high powered, but it was injustice done. I knew he was going to come with, there was some sort of injustice done. Okay. But the reality is, if your lawyer was high powered, you would not have got that hefty sentence. You probably would have went home. $200,000, a high-powered lawyer, and you're innocent, you probably would have went home, right? But let this man tell it. They wanted to take him down. I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna get through this whole thing, but because it's very hard to watch this nigga, man. He's a piece of shit, a true piece of shit, and everybody doesn't know that. Everybody's not familiar with him.
We have our own Guess what? Forensics expert. So our forensics expert said this. Our forensics expert said, we want to take a look and see what's going on over there. So when our forensics expert took a look and examined these so-called clothes with semen stains, we had some questions about how did you definitively conclude that that was semen in the first damn place. So guess what happens after that? A deposition is when we interview anybody.
Another tactic that Brother Polight does, he did it in all his debates. He will focus on the stuff he's knowledgeable about, right? Right now he's talking about the DNA. Now he wants to tell us what a deposition is. My man, just tell us what you were doing in the room with that girl. You want to tell us all of these procedures and use big words and talk fast. Tell us. Why are you not telling us what you were doing in the room with that girl? Why aren't you getting to the nitty gritty? See, he does this even in his debates and even with his scams. He will focus on the stuff that he's very knowledgeable about, or that he rehearsed, or that he memorized.
That's part of the situation, whether it be the mother, the daughter, the people who took the 911 call, whoever. The prosecutor gets to sit in while we interview them, while there's a court-appointed stenographer that types up everything, and the prosecutor can hear everything as it goes, so they can make a determining factor if they got a case or not. Point in case, we couldn't interview the serologist, Stephanie Thompson, because she mysteriously disappears when we want to question her about how she came up with those results. I'll say it again. The person who said that there was semen stains on the headscarf and the shirt, despite the fact the rape kit tested for 5 different DNAs, considering the egregious acts that I was accused of, the rape kit came up all negative, which science would suggest I did absolutely none of the things that I was accused of. Science would suggest I did absolutely none of the things that I was accused of. Okay? All right. That's what science would suggest. Science would suggest that. But here's this woman talking about this DNA evidence, and then now when we...
If I'm accused of doing such a thing, I'm not going to sit here and tell you about what science suggests. Okay? I'm not going to tell you what science suggests. I'm going to tell you what happened. He's not talking about what happened. How did her lip get busted? How did the DNA get wherever it was at? Why were you out with her at 3 a.m? Why did her mother take her straight to the police? It's a bunch of questions that he's not answering.
Call her so we can interview her and get a deposition and have it on record with my attorneys questioning them based on the findings of our forensic expert. She's nowhere to be found. So you know what we can do now? We can file a motion to dismiss the DNA for the case. That's what we could do. Because if we go to trial, we won't be able to cross-examine her because suddenly she disappears. She works for some private company and no one could find her.
Look at his face, dog. Look at this
Now,
bitch ass nigga.
The state been giving me opportunities to plead 20 years sexual offender, plead 15 years sexual offender. And I'm like, I wouldn't care if you gave me 1 day in prison. So long as you got that label registered sex offender on there, I'm going to trial. So long as you got that label there, registered sex offender, I'm going to trial because I can.
You see, he's poking his chest out. He's going to poke his chest out talking about if they try to give me the sex offender list, I'm going to trial. He said there's no way he's copping to that. Okay. Now, you mean to tell me you'll take a 7-year sentence, 10 years probation, a special mental health / sex offender? It's pretty much a sex offender class. Why didn't you go to trial, dog? Why didn't you take it to trial?
Never make a plea to something like that.
He wouldn't make a plea to something like that. And he's acting as if these two aggravated child abuse charges are any better. So you'd rather be someone who harmed a child physically without the sexual component in it. You would rather be somebody who has felony child abuse. I read the definition yesterday on my other broadcast. Why didn't you go to trial, dog? If you had the high power lawyers, you had the $200,000 budget, you're innocent. Why didn't you go to trial?
So guess what happens? The state says if we ever want to do interviews, depositions, if we ever want to get a deposition from the mother and a deposition from the daughter, all bets are off. They'll never do an agreement with me. They said they'll never do an agreement. Never do an agreement. Work out an agreement or a plea. I said, I don't give a... My attorneys will tell you straight up, because when you see my attorney video, he's going to tell you straight up. From day one, I said, I'm never doing an agreement to any sexual charges. Interview the mother and the daughter, so they are the last of our depositions. We got the police body cams. We realized that the police report contradicts the affidavit that they did. The affidavit contradicts the interviews that they did on the body cam. So we got 3 contradictions. The story that the mother and daughter tells on the body cam, the stories that they told in the police report, and the stories that they tell on the affidavits. None of them work out. And I'm going to speak about that. But ultimately, we want to interview them. So when we interview them and do our depositions, have the prosecutor sit there, we already know where they're lying. We already know their lies. We looked at each of the 3 different types of lies they said for that night. So guess what's going to happen when we get to interview them? We're just going to ask them questions so they can contradict themselves. So when we go to court, we can ask them which story is true and why did you lie? So the prosecutor hits us again. Well, you know he's going to be facing life.
We cut it right there. What he's doing is, this is classic guilt. This is a classic guilty man. Instead of asking them what they have, all he's doing is asking them what they have. What do you have? Why are you lying about that? Tell me your stories. Why don't you just tell the real story if you're innocent? I would just tell the real story. This is what happened. This is how she got her mouth bruised. This is why she was at the hotel in the wee hours of the morning, away from her mother. Why don't you just tell the story, dog? But instead, these are his tactics. This is what he does. We are very familiar with it. He is a professional debater. He's a professional debater. This is what he does. He finds the holes in your argument and he'll pick through the holes in your argument. You understand? And unfortunately, there are people out here that still buy this, that buy what this man is selling. I just said he's going to continue to make money from prison. He's still going to be scamming people. There are people out here that believe this man. I want to know what Mayweather has to say about this. I want to know what Shabazz the OG has to say about this. Why haven't they stepped up to denounce this man?
We're in the week now where we got to interview the mother and daughter to get the deposition. So guess what happens 2 days before the mother and daughter are supposed to fly into town for us to get the depositions? They call. After a week ago threatening me, 2 days before the mother and daughter are supposed to fly out, they say, hey, we drop all the sexual charges. Huh?
What exactly does that mean? What is that? What does dropping all the sexual charges mean? What does that mean? I'm asking. Comment, because it can mean a couple different things. It can mean different things. Okay? It could mean, look here, we've been on this trial for 2 years. You know, those of us that have been following this trial, we know how long it's been dragging out. We know all of the postponements. We know everything that has happened thus far. So what that means is, hey, look here. And the mother even said it in her testimony. If you haven't heard the mother's testimony, it's online. Okay? And she basically wanted to get this over with. She said she wanted to get this done. She wanted to get this thing closed out. So what that could mean is, hey, look here, we got you on this here. 7 years is going to really jam you up. We believe, see, the mother knows, dude, they were married or girlfriend, boyfriend. She knows that 7 years. She just wants to get that conviction. She said it. I want you in prison, right? So the way I look at it is she was taking what she can get for the moment. She believes that's punishment for him. She knows just as well as we know that he don't want to do that 7 years, though. He might not make it out. Polight might not make it out from these 7 years. He's a target.
They said we're dropping all the sexual charges. And let me add something to this. Y'all heard this crazy story that I called a grown woman and asked if I could take her 14-year-old girl to a party. And y'all believe that bullshit. But guess what my text messages say? My text messages say, she asked me. Oh, hold on, let's reverse. Do you?
Show the text messages, dog. If this was me, I would just show my receipts. Just show the receipts, dog. Why are you telling us all this? Show the text messages.
You know that we broke up that same day, and later within a day, within 24 hours.
He kind of like told on himself right there. You know, you gotta be sharp. Supposedly they broke up that day. That gives him motive. That gives him motive to say, you know what? All right. You know, thinking that the way he's thinking. That gives him motive to say, watch what I do, or I'm gonna do this. Polight be down South Beach, horny as a motherfucker. They wonder why he had 2 hotel rooms. And honestly, I don't know, but my speculation would be, you put your wife over here, you got your other hotel room so you can handle your side business. Cause that's how he's a freaky nigga. Just all about just trying to get whatever he can get. Put the wife up there, get the other hotel room so he can take something back. But this night he took the little girl back. Like he said, they broke up earlier that day.
She filed a criminal complaint. Let's add some more color to it. Do you know that the same day that I broke up with her,
right, triple C's,
proven, she said she was going to destroy my life. She was going to fuck my whole shit up. So we have motive. Do you know?
So you mean to tell us that she put her daughter in the line of fire? She told us during her statement. She told us that her daughter has PTSD. When other people come in the room, she is nervous and scared. She was hurt mentally by this whole ordeal. So what you're telling us is she did all of this because you're such a prize that she has to mess your life up. She'll put her daughter in a line of fire so she can hurt you. I don't believe it. I don't buy it.
I wasn't the one that asked to take her daughter to a party after 2 a.m. in the morning. Do you know my text messages say? She contacted me and asked me to take her daughter out to a party after 2 a.m. in the morning, and I vehemently declined. I said, what the hell do I look like as a grown man taking a 14-year-old that obviously looks like a minor to a party?
See, he knows. Polight knows that we all the men and women, we ask that question. It's hard to get around that one. It's very hard to get around that one. That's why he threw that in there. I studied the psychology of this man. He threw that in there because he knows that is something you have to explain.
Y'all don't know that though. All of this is in my text messages. Y'all don't know that though. So you say, well, then Polight, then you should be clean. I should be, but unfortunately, the mother turned her daughter in. The daughter got high and intoxicated, and because I'm not the one that turned them in, now we dealing with child abuse and delinquency of a minor.
Whoa! Hold up, cuz. Hold up. He just told us all of this happened is because he didn't turn the daughter in for being high and under the influence. This is crazy.
If they can, so I'm like, let's fight it. So my attorney's like, I just want you to understand that this child abuse in Florida, aggravated child abuse, from the child being intoxicated, they can give you 30 years in prison. I'm like, man, take the goddamn agreement. If, under what circumstances, if they can convince the jury that whether you gave her alcohol or you was aware that she was high at any point in time and you didn't turn her in, but since the mother did, you're going to be subject to 30 years. So let's make a goddamn agreement.
So what he's saying is, what he's trying to convince us of is that he's copping out to giving her alcohol. Hopefully he'll tell us where the felony child abuse comes in there.
Man, and let's work this thing out. So still gotta sit down somehow, some way, but it is what it is. Blessings in abundance is bittersweet. Oh my goodness. And more information is gonna come out. This shit is far from over for all the lies that was told on me. Peace.
Hey man, Florida, all the brothers behind the wall, do your thing, man. Do your thing, man. Y'all see, man. Listen, this was a public service announcement. Do not believe that, man. There are people out there who still love him, that still want to believe in him, and that will spread this message. I felt as though it was my duty. I didn't plan on making another video about him. This is not going to be the Polight bashing channel. This is not going to be the conscious community bashing channel. I've been following this case for 2 years. I wanted to put the information out there. I want the world to know that this man has scammed a lot of people. I want him to know, I want the world to know that this man is a pedophile. Yes, he is. Okay, whether he copped to a lesser charge, because child abuse is child abuse, felony child abuse. Okay, if you look up the definition, that entails a bunch of different stuff. It can include torture and other things. So cool, they dropped the sexual language, no problem. My man, you know what you did. I want everybody to know who this man is. There's a group of us out here that are spreading the truth, and we want everybody to know that this man is alive. I've been saying this for about 4 years, even before any of these cases. I've been letting people know that this man is alive, and that's what he is. I used to follow this man. You understand? I had great respect for this man because I was a lot younger in my knowledge. I couldn't see. I didn't know. I was just coming into consciousness. And I heard good words and I heard intelligence, and I'm like, cool, I like this. But then I started to wake up and I saw what this man was about. So PSA, man, he's as Sarnetta would say, he's a habitual liar, not a habitual liar. Hey man, I went on Sarnetta's show yesterday, and I asked him, would you still do an interview with this coward? And the reason I asked is because you would think after all this is said and done that nobody would want to hear from this man. There's nothing to hear. There's nothing for him to say to us. And this is what he was going to get on the channel and do. He was going to get on the channel and bamboozle the family again. He was going to get on the channel and sweet talk people again. And unfortunately, HOK, their chat, they love Polight. Majority of them, to this day. They're asking when he's coming back. When we going to get a debate, Polight debate. Unfortunately, I'm not blaming Sarnetta or nobody or none of that. I'm just saying, his chat, they love Polight. Even some of the niggas on the panel love Polight. Crazy. So yeah, man, we're gonna leave it at that. I appreciate y'all tapping that. Triple C's, Rizzler lyricists. I appreciate y'all tapping that, man. I'm gonna subscribe if I'm not already subscribed. I know I subscribed to Triple C's, man. I appreciate y'all. I doubt there'll be another Polight video until we get an update that they put hands and feet on them in that penitentiary, or they put that knife in them. One of the three. We'll see. But y'all be easy, man. I'm gonna get with you. Peace.